Every young dancer dreams of getting their first pair of pointe shoes and dancing beautifully across the stage in a classical solo. And if you're serious about classical dancing, then for a female, pointe work is quite a big part of this. However, there's much more to pointe work than meets the eye. There is much more to it than simply buying a pair of shoes, strapping them on and dancing around. Now, the truth is that a lot of young students really struggle in their first couple of years of dancing on pointe simply because they don't have enough strength in their feet and ankles and their hips and core to actually support them when they're dancing on pointe. The other unfortunate fact is that a lot of these students get niggly foot and ankle injuries that really can be prevented if they do the appropriate training before starting on pointe. Now, when I started working with dancers, especially in the area of progressing onto pointe, I was constantly frustrated because I'd see the same weaknesses in dancers across the board, from different schools, from different countries and from different syllabuses, all having the same weaknesses that were setting them up for injuries later on. And it is so simple to bring in some really simple training techniques before starting on pointe that help prevent about 90% of these foot and ankle injuries. So I put together the Perfect Pointe book, which has been available as a downloadable ebook for quite some time. However, now we have gone through and videoed all of the tests and all of the exercises to make it a whole lot easier to follow through the program. We've also made all of these videos iPod compatible, so you can download them, pop them on your iPod and take them with you wherever you go. Now, the Perfect Pointe book is split into 4 stages, and each of these has a couple of tests in the beginning that you can do to assess where you're at your starting point. You then have a series of exercises that you can go through for a couple of weeks to really help improve in those areas before going back and retesting. Once you can pass all of the components of all of the tests, you can move on to the next stage. Now, stage 1 of the Perfect Pointe book is all about the flexibility of your feet and ankles. Now, this is obviously very, very important when moving on to pointe. If you don't have enough pointe range, you'll find you have to bend your knees to go onto pointe, or you'll tend to sit back on the back of the box. Both of these things can lead to either foot and ankle or knee injuries, so we really do need to make sure that you have enough pointe range before starting onto pointe. Stage 1 goes through lots of massage techniques, gentle foot mobilizations and gentle stretches to really help improve your range so that you can be perfectly positioned when you rise in your pointe shoes. Now, stage 2 is all about the strength of your foot and ankle. This is really, really important, especially in the front of the foot, because you're using those deep little foot muscles to rise from demi-pointe up to full pointe and control back down. And this is an area where a lot of dancers are very weak. We spend a lot of time training the small little intrinsic muscles in the foot, as well as making sure that the calf muscles are strong enough to cope with all the rising and relevating that you do when you start on pointe. Stage 3 is all about your turnout, and this is essential to master when going on to pointe because it's very hard to cheat your turnout when you're standing on such a small platform. We go through lots of stretches to help open out the hips and exercises to really help you find the difference between your deep turnout muscles and all the rest of the bottom muscles that a lot of young students grip too hard with. And in stage 4, we look at isolating all of the deep core muscles to really help you stabilize away from the bar, which is very, very important when starting onto pointe. So as you can see, this program is very in-depth. You get the downloadable PDF and all 4 videos, which is over 2 hours in total, that you can download to your iPod. Simply click on the Buy Now button off to the side and you'll be taken through the process. Because these are downloadable files, you will get access to them immediately, so you can start working on the program today. We do, however, have an option to upgrade to a hard copy of the book, so if you're interested in that, please scroll right to the bottom of the page and all the details will be there. I look forward to having you on the program and really helping you achieve your dancing dreams.